Hello, welcome to episode 71 of Miffs. Dan, how are you feeling today?
Pretty tired, Matt, I'm not going to lie.
I
will have a nap probably during the... maybe you can just rank the myths at the end on your own.
Oh my god. The thing is though, when you're feeling tired, it's very hard to podcast. It's like there's certain episode where you're crashing and I have to kind of finish off the episode and you just don't laugh at my jokes. In offense, that's every episode. In offense.
Every episode, yeah. Are you saying that you're not man enough to do this podcast on your own?
I can. Sorry.
It sounds like you're complaining that when I'm not full energy, you struggle. So what are you going to be like if I'm not ever here?
Fine.
Oh, I know what you do. You go behind my back and you get Laurel X on.
And she laughs at my jokes sometimes.
She did not laugh at your jokes.
She didn't laugh at all my jokes.
She pity laughed.
She did. We can crack. We can do it though. Dan, come on, let's get some energy. Come on. Have some squat.
Let's play rubber chicken.
Yeah, okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Rubber chicken.
Feeling good?
Feeling good now.
Okay.
Non-drama students won't have a fucking clue what we just did.
Yeah, well, actually did it on a previous podcast, but didn't explain it, so, hi. Right, let's start 71 properly now. Alright, Dan, let's kick this in the bollock.
Welcome to Miffs.
I'm Matt Huss.
And I'm Dan Rhodes. Whether you know about Theseus or you're revising your syllabus,
If you want tales with a bit of jest, or you just want to hear about incest.
What?
What? It's really interesting.
Welcome to Miffs. Welcome to Miffs.
Are you feeling good today?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I've got a globe of the world in front of me. That is making me realise that I am small and insignificant.
Well, okay. What country do you not want to go to right now?
Okay. Without making this some horrendous Dan Rhodes jokes.
Oh yes, please, for the love of God.
Oh, I'm going to Africa and that's Sweden.
Hope it's not in that country like Ethiopia.
Well, Syria doesn't appeal to me right now.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because it probably a few years ago wasn't very beautiful. Nigeria doesn't really strike me as somewhere I'd like to go. Neither does, unfortunately, a lot of West Africa kind of scares me.
To be honest, I think that's good enough for me. As a producer, I'm squealing.
But a curveball country or a curveball place that I am happy never to go back to, Paris.
Oh, you hate Paris, don't you?
Don't like Paris.
How do you?
Has bad experiences.
Why not? Why don't you like it?
I mean, do we have any listeners in Paris?
I don't think we did. Actually, we have very little French viewers. Yeah. Sacre bleu.
Great, then I can carry on.
And
I don't know, just find it a bit dirty, feel a bit unsafe. We get harassed a lot by people trying to sell you like key rings. And
so
things.
are you talking about Paris or my house?
Both.
Yeah. I'm always trying to sell you a keyring then.
Yeah, always queue for ages for all the attractions. I don't know, people romanticise Paris and I just don't think it's...
People literally romanticise Paris as well. It's supposed to be...
That's why I tried to burn down the cathedral.
Can we have that? I don't know. I think it's okay.
It's okay. It's topical.
It's not... Well, firstly, it's not topical. It was like 2 months ago. And when this goes out, less so. Secondly, it's... usually it's either quite racist or sexist for you, so that's alright. To be honest, I'm glad you didn't say anything about Africa, so...
No, it's been quite nice actually. The culture in Africa is great, and it is interesting. And I know people from West Africa and they're all lovely. It just scares me. I think I'd be scared to go there. Imagine little old Dan walking through the streets of Lagos. Hi everybody!
Is that how you speak of that?
That's how I speak, yeah. That's how I speak when I travel. Oh, your food market looks very delicious.
You sound a bit like King Midas. What would have King Midas sound like if he was in that situation?
He'd probably be like... Oh yeah, imagine him going travelling. He'd probably be the kind of person that's really rude to like the airline staff.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean my bags have to go in the underside of them?
High pitch.
What are you fucking pointing at me for?
I
know the voice of King Midas.
Yeah, well, go on then.
What do you mean that the bags have to go in the hold? I paid for hand luggage. Oh, but sir, you've brought 3 bags of hand luggage. Fuck you. I was. You got all your airlines just taking my money. Don't I pay enough for this flight? This flight to Nigeria cost me £150. actually, sir, that's very good value for... Shut up! I saw it online for £30 and then I've got 3 bags. I want to take my 3 bags on me. But sir, one of your bags weighs 30 kilograms. I'm going to have to charge you extra to put that in the hold. Don't you hold me!
I like how King Minos, a king of Crete,
goes to Lagos, Nigeria.
Well, he's going via EasyJet as well.
Yeah, EasyJet to Nigeria.
Yeah, he's not doing well, and he's just been to Paris. He hates it there, doesn't he?
He hates it there.
What did you hate about Paris?
It was unsafe. Oh, you want me to do the voice?
Yes.
It's full of French people.
I like how he bought tickets to Paris and goes, wait a minute.
Wait
it's full
a
of
minute.
French people.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with French people. I don't know, I don't know. Paris is nice, I think it was always cracked up to me. Where's the worst place you've ever been? Or the place that... Maybe what I'm trying to say is, not that Paris is bad, is that I was very underwhelmed. Yeah, I was underwhelmed by it. What were you underwhelmed by?
Well, I went to loads of Greek islands when I was growing up, because my parents loved to go to a beach holiday, so I saw loads of those kind of islands, which were kind of like... They're lovely, they're calm, but nothing too much happens. Like, I didn't mind Turkey that much, it was fine, if you know what I mean. It's just another place, if you know what I mean. There wasn't anywhere culturally special, if you know what I mean. Yeah, everywhere else has been... but that's the worst it gets, really. I've never had any bad holidays. And even the places which were weird and a little bit scary, like Moscow, it was still fascinating, if you know what I mean. So, but yeah, it's all good.
But you're not allowed back to Russia now, are you? Because of the incident in Moscow?
What allegations are you talking about?
Didn't you... We can edit this out. Didn't you kill a guy in Moscow?
Dan, never on the podcast. They can trace it back.
Oh, shit. Okay.
But then again, it might get us extra viewers, listeners.
Keep it in if you want to,
yeah.
But I just was wondering. It's true, isn't it?
What do you know about it?
Well, I know that you... Didn't you get in a taxi?
Uh-huh.
And the guy was like, where do you want to go? And you, like, sarcastically said, my hotel.
Yeah.
And then he recognised you as Matt Haas.
Famous from this podcast.
Yeah, he'd recognised you from the Fringe, hadn't he?
Yeah.
And,
he supported my Indigo.
And he was from Yorkshire, which is weird, but he works as a taxi driver now in Moscow. He said, oh, Matt, I've seen you in Fringe. And then you were like, and you just were really rude to him. You were like, oh, you see me in Fringe, have you? Shut up, Mr. Taxi Driver. Take me to my hotel.
And what a stupid Russian accent you got.
Yeah. And he was like, alright, don't need to be rude. And then you stabbed him to death.
All that story's true. To us, I thought you were going to go for a special, like, secret agent, nerve agent kind of joke, but no, you just...
No, I didn't. I'm too tired to be funny today. I think
Dan, I'm wearing some special trousers for you today.
What the... Oh, no. No, you're not.
I am, because I'm wearing my danger trousers. Do you know why I call them my danger trousers?
Why do you call them your danger trousers?
Because they're very close to ripping in the butt area, and I can't really wear them out in public that much, because I want to wear them on stage, but my biggest fear is that if I go on stage, do a lunge, they might rip on stage. So I'm wearing them for you today, and shall I do some lunges to see my trousers split?
It's okay.
I think I have to now.
Have I told you about that time my shorts split when I was paddleboarding in Coffs Harbour, Australia, and I had to paddleboard past loads of children, and my whole penis and arsehole was exposed.
Really?
Yeah.
And then you stabbed a man to death?
It was mortifying.
Well, did they comment?
Well, I was like trying to paddleboard whilst holding my shorts together.
Oh my god.
And I decided
How did it rip?
And I decided that it was better for members of the public to see my bottom area than my genital, testicular, penile area.
But you were in a canoe?
It was in a paddleboard.
Oh, paddle... Wait, as in like standing up?
Standing up paddleboarding.
Gotcha, because I thought you were in a canoe. I was like, that's quite easy. Yeah, okay.
So I grabbed the front to hold the front together, but that meant that the back was kind of blowing in the wind. But I thought that was better than having the front
because
blow
that's
in
cheeky.
the wind.
Because I think a buttock can be slightly cheeky.
If people see it, they're like, oh, that guy's ripped his trousers, just saw a bit of his bum cheek.
Yeah.
If they're like, oh, that guy's ripped his trousers, but why is he continuing to paddleboard with his penis fully out?
Yeah, that's
weird.
Yeah. Do you want to see my danger rip? Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have a look.
So, I can see it now, actually.
Yeah. It's pretty gnarly.
Oh, that is pretty. Turn around.
Well, yeah, I'll bend over and see. Okay.
Oh, that is close to going.
Yeah. Describe it to the listeners.
It looks like...
I'm bent over like a...
It looks like he has a vagina.
It doesn't just look like I got one. install it myself. It's pretty like. Oh,
Yeah, that's gonna. Yeah, that's gonna. That's your perineum.
Just touch my nut by accident. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's gonna rip at some point. That's gonna be hilarious.
So I think when we're marking it at the end, we should do some lunges.
And see if you
Did I
can.
ever tell you the story of me doing? I did a preview in Newcastle in November, and at the end I did a dance routine to Proud Mary, and I because I said I'd do it at the end. People laughed, but I did that at the end. I was like dancing across tables, I was going crazy, and I was doing some lunges, and my trousers split open during the lip sync. It's actually there's a gif of me on the internet going like that. It's great. It's very funny. Very visual though, so you won't enjoy it, podcast listener. But also, Dan, I've had a bit of a weird week.
So what myth are we doing today?
You're such a dick! I showed you my rip and everything as well. I don't do that to all the podcast covers.
You only have one other other podcast you do with yourself.
Well, I do it with a guest. I don't just interview myself.
No, but also you can't do it just to yourself.
Well...
Prove to me that none of the guests you have on Drunken... Well, it's not called the Drunken Podcast, no, is it? It's called Matt's Podcast. Matt's Podcast. Matt interviews himself. Friends with Matt? What's it called?
You know it.
I actually can't remember.
Oh, wow.
Friends with Matt.
I like it.
Matt's Friends. Matt interviews people he likes.
Matt Hoss.
Matt Hoss introduces people he likes.
Matt Hoss talks to people he likes.
Matt Hoss talks to people he likes.
Miss talks Matt Hoss cat fever time. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah. How do we know that isn't just yourself doing accents?
Well, have you heard me do accents?
Yeah, that's true, actually, yeah.
Exhibit A, Theseus, and the rest. Yeah, so there's all that. All right, so let's just...
That was a weird intro. Covered everything.
Fuck you. Okay, let's go and do a brand new and the final saga of our Greek myths. Here we go. Hey there, my name's Matt Huss, and in this link I have an American accent, and I advocate the safe use of myths podcasts in small doses. Dan, it's the beginning of the end. By which I mean we're doing the last ever
thing.
The last thing in the world.
Last thing in the world.
What? Imagine it's apocalypse and you're like you see the bomb just about to explode. You've got about an hour left, right? Left on the Earth. What is the last thing you do?
I would probably...
if you're wondering why I'm asking him a question after the podcast jingles, because I'm filling for time because the Word document hasn't loaded. So, Dan,
I would probably... I'd like to think I'd message some people just saying like, hey, thanks for all the good times.
No, you're not I love you. When you're not screaming for I love you at that point.
No, it's not my character, is it?
Didn't like him that much.
It was wrong to suddenly whip that out, I love you, and everyone will be like, that sounds fake, he's never told me he loves me. And then I think they know it.
Imagine being that, like, you go, oh, Dan's texted me. In his final moments, he's texted me. Fucking liar.
I would probably, whether it's raining or not or whatever, I would probably go outside and just really soak up the wind and the smells and the sounds and nature. Maybe I'd murder someone just to see how it feels.
What I recommend, go to Russia. A Yorkshire taxi driver.
Maybe I don't know what I'd do.
Anyway, you don't need
listen to some music. You could listen to some really beautiful music.
Transcendental music.
Max.
What would you listen to?
Something like
not
Philip Glass, Max Richter, something like that. Like a really...
Imagine if you're...
really minimalist... Yeah.
I'd listen to Queen. Because I am a...
Show Must Go On would be a good one to listen to. As you're watching...
Actually, I think
the sky rain down upon you.
I think it would be It's a Beautiful Day reprise into track 13, and you're just kind of there transcending into time and space. It's nice, poetic.
Have you found your Word document yet?
I have found it. It's very slow, but it's there.
Wait a minute. Is Aeneid spelt with an A?
What? Yeah.
Are you joking me?
Yeah.
I thought it was I've always assumed in my head it would be with an I. That's blown my mind.
Sorry,
that has blown my goddamn mind.
Let's pause here for a sec. We are going to be doing, for the final time, for the final kind of series we're doing, and the final myths we're doing for the Greek and Roman canon, we're doing the Aeneid. And how is it spelled, Dan?
With an A.
Yeah, but spell it out.
A-E, Neid.
He's such a fucking prick.
Aeneid.
The Aeneid. And Aeneas, our protagonist and hero, is spelled Aeneas.
I honestly thought it was
Aeneas.
Aeneid, as in like with an I.
No.
Aeneid.
So, just this is what my classics teacher said to my class just before we started learning it. In year 10 or 11, he goes, "Okay, guys, because we'll all be reading out from the book. Just to clarify from the get-go, his name is Aeneas. Aeneas. Don't say anus, okay? Because it looks a bit like anus.
Does look like anus.
And on the first line, Martin. I shouldn't say his full. A really dweeby boy. I just said his full name. A dweeby boy called Martin. He stop saying. Right, I'm gonna censor it now. So Martin, the fucking dweeb that he is, right? Who, as it turned out, got a taxi cab in Russia. He said, Virgil's anus, quite funny, written by Virgil. It's an epic poem. Pretty much what it's like. It's the Roman equivalent of both the Iliad and the Odyssey. So the first 6 books are very much like the Odyssey and trying to find the journey. The other part is the warfare, like the Iliad as well. So it was written by Virgil under the patronage of Augustus, and basically with propaganda, basically claiming that Augustus came from these royal descents as well.
Yes.
So it's basically creating a fake mythological background for Augustus whilst he was alive. And Virgil's really interesting, but we won't get too much into that.
So this is Roman.
Roman.
Interesting.
And there's a lot of things which happen in here which don't really make much sense mythologically, but they are to reflect what's happening in current day Rome and to say how good Augustus is. Okay. So it's more propaganda than we usually have.
Oh, okay. It's more political.
It's a custom
historical.
Yeah, it's a custom-made myth. And Virgil died before he finished making it, but it does kind of... It's about the same length as the Odyssey as well, but it kind of finishes up anyway. So, are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
So, I'd say this is going to be a series...
because it's Roman, are we going to have to translate a lot of gods into Greek ones? Because I feel like we do a lot more... We've done a lot... Typically, over the last... lots of episodes, I'm much more comfortable with the Greek gods and what they do.
Yeah, we will.
I think we know what they...
But we'll pick it up quite easily. Yeah. I think there's a couple of main players anyway, so you'll pick them up quite nice. Yeah, so bear in mind that it's kind of Roman propaganda, but not like shove it down your throat, but there's moments to it. And I've studied Virgil's Aeneid quite a lot, so this is my textbook from as a teenager.
Nice.
And it's quite worn, but yeah, it's something I like quite a lot. And the first line, which is really important, is "I sing of arms and of the man, fated to be in exile." So basically saying that arms is the allusion to the Iliad, and the man being the Odyssey, the one person, the journey as well. So, so again, it's going to be quite a lot of myths on this situation. So, shall we just begin?
Yeah.
So, Virgil starts off by saying that he will tell the story of Aeneas, who has fled from Troy and is fated to eventually reach Latium in Italy, where he will found a race that will one day build Rome. Aeneas won't find Rome himself, but he'll start the lineage and start that journey as well.
We know who's founded Rome. Romulus!
Yes, and that's again, Romulus and Remus as well, as part of that mythology as well. But Aeneas' journey is made difficult by the gods, and in particular Juno, the queen of the gods, otherwise known as...
Hera!
Perfect. Virgil wonders why Juno hates Aeneas, who is famous for his piety, because Aeneas is known as quite a nice guy, he's a very good leader, pious, but Juno hates him. He asks the muse Calliope, the goddess of the arts, to tell him more about the source of her anger. So there's a couple of reasons why Juno hates Aeneas, but we'll get into the story in a second, but we'll go into this background. So, firstly, Virgil talks about Carthage, Juno's favourite city, a rich and old Phoenician settlement located in North Africa, modern-day Tunisia. Juno wants Carthage to one day rule the world, but she has heard that a race of men descended from the Trojans are fated to destroy Carthage. And that's so the Romans had a big war with Carthage. I think it was with Hannibal and stuff like that. Yeah. And this was after it, and so Rome had won. But what he's doing is making those links to it as well. So Juno in the future knows that Rome is going to destroy Carthage. But
those in Rome at this point. So yeah,
so that's why she hates the Trojans, because Trojans, Aeneas starts it, essentially the Romans. So that's reason number one why Juno hates them. Number two, in addition, Paris, a Trojan prince, was once asked to judge between the most beautiful goddesses and chose Venus over herself and Minerva, the judgment of Paris in the Iliad.
We did that, yeah.
So that's number two. So she hates Trojans for those two reasons. And the funniest of the reasons, kind of, is that Juno remembers that her husband, Jupiter, once ran off with a Trojan prince and a shepherd named Ganymede. Do you remember that?
I remember. Jupiter, aka Zeus, ran off with Ganymede, tied by her. He stole a 5-year-old kid and used him as his sex slave in Mount Olympus.
And Juno's annoyed by it.
And Juno was annoyed by it. Juno gets annoyed by a lot of things in Greek mythology.
But I'm with her on that one.
Yeah, that's a bit different, yeah.
Yeah. So Juno despises the Trojans, and she's making it impossible for them and for years to come in Latium as well. But the thing is, though, she understands fate, and fate's a big part of the Aeneid. So Aeneas is destined to found Rome. That's going to happen, but she can make his troubles more difficult along the way. So the Trojans are trying to, because their home is destroyed after the war, they're trying to find refuge and find a new home. The Trojans are sailing near Sicily. Juno angrily recalls a time when Minerva, who's Minerva?
Who is the equivalent of Minerva?
I believe that is, what's her face? Artemis?
It must be Artemis. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Goddess of hunting. Yeah.
Or is it? Wait.
Was it Athena?
Love?
No, Athena was Venus.
It's
Aphrodite.
It is Athena. Is it Athena? Yeah, it's Athena, I think.
Minerva's Athena.
I think.
Aphrodite.
We should. This is 71. We should know this by now, right?
Yeah, we don't really do Roman gods.
Yeah, because
they're always translated into Greek. We always do the Greek ones.
Yeah, I think Minerva's Athena. I think.
Okay.
If not, sue me. So Juno, prideful about her power, wonders why she can't do the same. Juno goes to Aeolus, the wind god, who keeps the winds in his dungeon, which isn't a euphemism for his bowels. She asks Aeolus to send winds to sink the Trojan ships, and in return promises him a beautiful nymph for a wife. Aeolus, because he's lonely, immediately agrees. And since Juno is the most powerful goddess and unleashes the east, west, and southwest winds against the Trojans, can you do a reenactment of the winds?
Let me do it with the doors of his dungeon opening,
Which is not but. And at this point, Dan's having a stroke. Good, that was good. That was like Lord of the Rings, like. It was very good.
Thank you.
It's like an audiobook.
Any more sound effects?
Yeah. Okay. Well, can you do a?
I meant kind of as we do it.
No. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple. Can you do a sound of a golf ball being hit? That was good. Can you do?
That was not good.
That was good. Can you do like a Western revolver going on? Like a cowboy walking into a saloon, people stopping and people shooting.
A cowboy walking into a saloon.
Yeah.
So it'd be like.
Grenade! Yeah, it's nice to know that. It's nice to know that cowboys in the Wild West had artillery fire. And finally, can you do the sound effects of Matt Horst winning the Edinburgh Fringe Comedy Award?
And the award for the best comedy joke here at Edinburgh Fringe goes to Matt Horst. Thank you. I'd just like to say that I had a great time. You know what I mean? I had a really good time. And do you know what I mean? Yeah, thank you. Oh, sorry. Thank you. I love you.
A lot of things to pick up. Firstly,
accurate.
Have you read my speech? It's thank you. I really, it's really good, really good. And also, I like how I say I love you at the end of my speech, but you wouldn't even say it at the end of the world.
Oh, I wasn't saying I love you for giving you an award. It's because you'd seen a girl in the audience that you liked.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and it's a show about love and romance.
Yeah,
so yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, any more?
What were we doing again?
Yeah, Aeolus just unleashed his wind.
He's the wind.
Where
Matt.
the winds blast the Trojan ships, and Aeneas prays to the gods. Imagine that, like, oh, is a storm coming? Well, Jupiter, it's me. You know what I mean? It's the wrong time to pray, mate. He then wishes that he could have died at Troy, killed by Achilles, just as Hector was. Aeneas thinks that the Trojans who died defending Troy were many times more blessed than he is, who survived only to have no home. Meanwhile, his men's ships, 11 are mentioned, crash in the shallows and begin to sink. So he wished he died with Cleios and honour rather than just drowning in the sea, nameless. The situation is desperate, but then Neptune,
aka Poseidon,
the god of the ocean who gives terrible gifts, noticed that the storm is happening and recognising it as his sister Juno's work. Because he's a little bit annoyed here because like the winds are shaking up his sea quite a lot, and he's messing up your Aeolus, this pretender, is messing up your domain. You know what I mean? So he's getting a bit pissy with him. So he angrily commands the winds to return to Aeolus and proclaims that he, Neptune, is the lord of the ocean. Neptune then calms the sea, just as a politician might calm an angry crowd. Then the sun comes out.
It's just occurred to me that Neptune and Juno, or Poseidon and Hera, Juno to Neptune is his sister and sister-in-law.
Yeah.
It's kind of messed up, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, if you want to know a bit about... Yeah.
That's what happens when brothers marry sisters.
You know, it's very interesting. That's a reference.
That's a song, yeah. They get it.
I'm not sure they do. I think they're tuned out by now. So, the exhausted Trojans land their 7 remaining ships at a cove in Libya, and Achates, the right-hand man of Aeneas, starts a fire. Achates, by the way, in the whole of the Aeneid, doesn't have any speaking lines whatsoever. There's a couple of people in the Aeneid who are very vital, but they don't say a single word. And also, I think Achates might be more than just a right-hand man, if you know what I mean.
He's left-handed?
Yes. He's left-hand, right-hand man. Achates starts a fire. Aeneas hikes up a mountain to try and see if any of his other ships make it out on the water. Instead, he spots a herd of deer. He shoots 7 of them, 1 for each of the ships. So already he's been resourceful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, thank you for the good maths. So returning with the deer to feed his men, Aeneas gives a stirring pep talk. He recalls their difficulties in the past, which we'll get onto. And he says this: "A joy it will be one day, perhaps to even remember this," which is basically saying, in book 3, we'll talk about it. Game on. It's weird to have a callback to a thing that hasn't happened yet, but anyway. He says the fates have determined that they will manage to reach Italy, so they should cheer up, though Aeneas privately worries and grieves. He fakes a positive attitude to support his men. They eat and miss their drowned friends. Sorry, they eat, and miss their drowned friends. I thought it was like, they eat, then eat their drowned friends. Salty. So what do you think of Aeneas so far, Dan?
Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he's pretty chill.
Pretending to be positive, even though he's terrified that they're shipwrecked on an island and they're all going to die.
That's pretty good leadership, though, isn't it?
Yeah. And he knows the gods are angry with him. That's never a good place to be.
And I think that I'm quite a good leader of this podcast, because when you look at a globe of Africa, as a co-host, I have to remain positive. But as a producer, I'm shitting myself, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I'm pretty good for that, aren't I?
You are, actually, yeah.
Can you give me 5 good facts about myself?
You know you do this, the amount of times you ask me this on the podcast.
I just want compliments, Dan. You don't give me enough.
Oh, Matt, you have really good eyesight.
Who said that? Yeah, go on.
How many things am I holding up?
2.
See? You have really good eyesight.
Yep.
You're a good driver.
Oh, thanks.
And a fiercely loyal friend.
You said that with such gravitas as well. I was like, oh, am I at the Senate? This is nice. There we go.
No. Jupiter and Venus watch the scene from the heavens. Venus asks Jupiter when there will be an end to Aeneas' suffering. Jupiter tells her not to worry and foretells more of Aeneas' fate.
So this is so we won't see this happen in the Aeneid, but this is kind of what's going to happen essentially after the Aeneid and what's his fate to be. So this is really important to know.
Aeneas will reach Italy and found
Lavinium.
You're always undermining me in front of the podcast viewers.
Hey, don't want
listeners.
And that's how you call it self-undermining.
Aeneas will reach Italy and found Lavinium. But he will have to battle the Italian locals first. Aeneas will then rule for 3 years, and after his death, his son Ascanius will rule for 30 years. After 300 years, Romulus and Remus, sons of a mortal priestess, and Mars will be born, and Romulus will found Rome, which will endure indefinitely.
Hey Dan, if you wanted to know more about Romulus and Remus, which episode could you listen to?
I would go to the episode where we did the myth of Romulus and Remus.
Yeah, but what number episode is it?
I don't know how you remember the numbers. We've done 71 of these. How can you possibly remember which one's which?
Okay, you test and I will say. Give me a number.
You know the answer, don't you?
Yeah, 25.
What?
Throw out a random number. I'll see if I can remember.
36.
36. Now that is a good one. I think that is. I'm better with names. Okay, so I think Argonauts. Argonauts Part 3. Should we check?
We'll check later.
Let's check now. I think then we can cut this bit out. What do you think it is? Just for levity's sake.
What do I think 36 is? Well, I'm terrible, so mine would be an absolute guess. Yeah, the Argonauts is probably about right, but I don't know which one there. Is it not the first episode of the Argonauts?
Is that your submission?
Yeah, I think it's the first part of the Argonauts.
No, I don't think that's correct, because I think episode 38 is the Laura Lex episode. Too many episodes. Let's read out some of our reviews whilst we're on the page.
There it's 36.
36. It's Aristeia! Close.
It's Agamemnon.
Oh, that sucks. Do you want to do another one? Because I feel bad now. I lost my street cred. What other ones? Another number.
50.
50 was Thesis 2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
See how fast that is? Because I'm always working, my friend. I'm going to edit out the one I missed. Alright, cool. So, getting back to it. So, after Romulus and Remus, what will happen?
Even Juno will change her mind and love Rome. Eventually, Julius Caesar will bring peace. He will close the gates of war and bind discord with 100 knots.
So, after the death of Julius Caesar, I think he stopped war.
Propaganda again.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's
like historical.
It's for the first time it's been peace and prosperity, because there was a civil war between Mark Antony, Cleopatra, and Augustus. Augustus won, and then he's trying to create the stability in Rome as well, which is it's very honourable, and he does a good job of it. But also, Ascanius, Aeneas' son, also has different names. Like there's Iolus and Eulus as well, and that's obviously in reference to Julius Caesar.
Nice.
Cool. See, there's so much shit. This is quite segmented already. Don't you think?
Yeah. Jupiter then sends the god Mercury to make Dido, the queen of Carthage, and her people be friendly and hospitable to the Trojans.
So Jupiter's realising, okay, let's help him out a little bit.
Aeneas and...
So Mercury is the messenger god?
He is.
Just to let you know. Hermes.
Yeah, Aeneas and...
Achates.
Thank you. Aeneas and Achates go into the woods and... Bum.
What?
I'm joking. Aeneas and Achates go into the woods.
What happened there? I was like, I don't see that on there.
Aeneas and Achates go into the woods, where they come upon a virgin warrior who is actually Venus in disguise.
But when it says come upon a virgin warrior, it just means in an Athena way, where his fighters wipes off the come.
Yeah.
So they see a sexy lady warrior, but it's his mum, so it's a Freudian nightmare.
Venus tells them about Dido's past, how her greedy brother Pygmalion, king of Tyre, killed Dido's husband, Sichaeus, for his wealth.
Okay, just pause here for a sec.
Fucking love Pygmalion.
Venus is there because they're in the woods and about to go to Carthage. Dido's the queen of Carthage, as mentioned, and Venus is trying to prep him as much as possible to go in there, so he knows how to react, how to sort out. And with Dido, I don't think he tells us about it here, but Dido was the queen of Tyre, but with Sichaeus, Pygmalion killed her for the wealth, and she was a fugitive. She took all of her family from Greece, and basically they saved them. And they left. It was Tyre, and they went to Carthage, and she founded Carthage there because she bought. She was like, went to the people who owned the land and goes, "Oh, I want to buy this land if that's okay." And because she was a woman, like, "Hey, yeah, we farmers, we'll give you the land. We'll give you the land of a cow's hide." So they're essentially a cow's skin's worth. And they were like, "Ha ha ha, take that, you woman!" But what she did, she thinned it so, like, she cut it in like in circles, so it thinned out as much as possible, and she created this massive city out of it. And they were like, "Fair dues," and they gave her the city. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is pretty cool.
So she's a refugee, very smart, very productive as well, as we were seeing in the second. So that's a little bit more about Dido.
When she learned what had happened from the ghost of her dead husband, Dido led her friends to escape and founded the city of Carthage. I was letting you carry on because I've already read ahead. Because you always do
You're
this.
such a prick. Why didn't you tell me?
A woman leads them all. Aeneas then recounts his difficult journey and laments his drowned men. But Venus stops him and tells him the lost ships have arrived safely at the harbour of Carthage.
Mine was better.
Yours was better. Venus reveals herself and then makes Aeneas and Actes invisible by covering them in a dense mist so they can travel safely into Carthage.
So this has a lot of ringing bells to him in the Odyssey, where
Odyssey, he was covered in a dense mist as well.
Yeah. Just kind of like, so there's not just two intruders, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. As he walks through Carthage, Aeneas envies the productive and happy town with its workers building up the city like busy bees. On the walls of a temple to Juno, Aeneas sees a depiction of the Trojan War to a large temple of Juno. And I've really messed it up, didn't I?
So basically, there's a large temple of Juno. On it is a depiction of the Trojan War, including images of Priam, Achilles, Hector, and they're amazed at and comforted that their ideas of the people are known throughout the world. He says, "Even here, the world is a world of tears and the burdens of mortality." Touch the heart.
And you did all of that? You had lived all of that?
Yep, didn't have any source material in front of me.
Pretty good.
Except from Amazing Bible Timeline.
Dido then arrives at the temple and is not only beautiful, but shows herself to be a capable leader.
Ooh, what do you think?
Aeneas, who's still invisible, is astonished to see friends whom he thought had drowned, standing next to Dido. He listens as one of the Trojans describes their past struggles and Aeneas' bravery, declares their peaceful intentions, and asks if they can rebuild their ships at Dido city. So that his friends that he thought had drowned are actually just chilling in Carthage.
Yeah, because they arrived safely. So that's quite nice. So Dido's very beautiful. What does she look like, Dan? Describe it to me. What does she sound like?
It is I, Dido.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Can you do it to me?
Oh, give me that cow's hide, and I'll make it silly for you.
Can you say, "Matt, you just won the Edinburgh Comedy Award"?
Matt, you just won the Edinburgh Comedy Award.
I love you. Alright, but people talk really nicely about Aeneas, and because what I would like to see more in Greek myths is people talking shit about other people behind the back, if you know what I mean. Like, Jesus Christ, have you seen Pygmalion? He's just been touching that door all the time, you know what I mean? And sorry, if you don't remember Pygmalion, listen back to the Wheat Wix challenge. That's that episode. Episode 8.
Guy has sex with a statue.
And yep, that's
pretty much it.
Anyway, Dido.
Do you know if you put an L in Dido,
you get Dilido?
Dilido, yeah.
That's the stupidest joke I've ever told. Dilido generally offers them land and help in finding Aeneas. Just then, the mist of invisibility breaks away, revealing them, and Venus uses her powers to make Aeneas to look extra handsome.
Ooh la la.
Aeneas praises Dido, and she welcomes him and calls for a grand feast. Carthage leaves to retrieve gifts from Dido of beautiful clothing and jewels. So again, this is Xenia. So she's welcomed them into her home. She's been a great guest. They're also giving gifts back as well. We see a lot of meddling with the gods here, because before they go for a grand feast, where this happens, Venus, still concerned about Juno's wrath and mistrustful of Carthaginian hospitality, sends Cupid, her son, and Aeneas' half-brother.
Yep.
Disguised as Aeneas' son Ascanius to make Dido fall in love with Aeneas. She does this because she doesn't want her she doesn't want Juno to get to Dido first, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So she makes Dido fall in love with him. So at the feast, Cupid is disguised as Ascanius. Cupid brings the gifts to the feast, sits in Dido's laps, and chants her, and making her forget about her beloved Zacchaeus as she falls in love with Aeneas. Then Virgil describes this love as poison and fire, and saying that Dido is doomed. The Trojans and their host drink and make merry together and listen to music. This is just before Dido asks Aeneas to tell the whole story of his 7 years of wandering. But we'll get onto that in the next chapter, in episode 72. And it's time to rank it.
Myths. Back in the game.
What did you think of the first part?
It's interesting. I saw a lot of parallels with the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Particularly the ending. It's like, present day, this is happening. And Odysseus, of course, he finds those people, doesn't he? That's the present day, the Venetians.
Yeah.
And then they say, hey, buddy, where have you come from? And he says, oh, do I have some stories? And then through his stories, we go backwards to find out what's happened. And that's basically what's happening here. At present day, he's in Carthage, and someone's gone, what have you been up to the last 7 years? And he's like,
let me tell you.
Let me tell you. And then I assume we're going to find out all about monsters and shizzle.
Yes. And so, as I said, in the first section it's essentially all about the Odyssey and stuff like that. So there's essentially Virgil's made his own parallels. Like he's kind of creating his own Odyssey. He rips it off quite a lot, but it's more of an homage to it. It's less of like ripping off, because we'll see some familiar characters in this as well.
Nice.
And some locations as well, because I think in the timeline, Aeneas and Odysseus are around the same points as well. So it's quite interesting. So where do you think it's going to go from here then?
Well, I imagine we'll hear that he went on this incredible... I'm sure there are going to be monsters and cyclopses and horses and witches and magic and death and probably some sexy times.
I hope so.
With gods and nymphs and all of the mythical creatures that Odysseus and even the Argonauts encountered. Mm-hmm. They all seem to encounter the same. They all get pretty lost, all of these guys. Yeah. The gods are probably going to meddle, but ultimately he's probably going to find his way back home and be happy.
Well, he's trying to find his town, I guess. We rank each section, so every episode, on its own merits, and we're going to rank it out of 40 as per usual. And we start with life skills. Dan, what do you think? What practical things did we learn today?
We learned
how to make someone fall in love with us.
How to make someone fall in love with us. How to make an invisible mist.
Yes. Oh, that's another thing we didn't talk, and this might go in WTF, right? They're in this mist. Firstly, the people of Carthage don't see a mist whatsoever, right? They just, apparently, that's fine, just a random mist walks in, and two men are chatting quite loudly as well. Like, hey, Carthage, I don't think this person can see me. It's like, I can hear you, dude, you know what I mean? But also, when they reveal themselves, they're just in the middle of the city, so if they just, like, appear out of nowhere, do you know what I mean? It's like, ta-da! It's like, that's weirder. You know?
No one was like, what have I just seen?
Yeah, exactly. It's odd. Good kind of like surprise though. Yeah. We learn how to be hospitable.
Yes.
We learn how to crash our ships.
We learn how to crash ships. We learn how to hunt deer.
We learn how to
hike up a mountain.
Inspire our men.
Yeah. Learn how to pray to the gods.
We learn
how to make wind in a dungeon.
Yep. We learn how to tell someone off if they're spoiling your sea.
Yep.
We learn how to. We learn more about Ganymede tight butthole.
Yeah.
we raped the young boy. Life skills. I forgot about that. I think there's quite a lot. Quite a lot of men burning, crashing ships.
Yeah.
Building ships.
Making fires.
It's quite a nice start to it.
It's obviously a 7.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Oh, morals. No, it's a 7.
Okay, yeah.
Morals.
Take me through it.
She's angry at Zeus and she's taking it out on someone else. That's a bad moral.
What do you mean?
Juno. She's been really hard.
Oh, Juno and Aeneas, not Zeus. Oh, she's annoyed at Zeus. But yeah.
She's annoyed at Zeus because she's taking it out on Aeneas. And that's all.
Yeah. You're right there. We also see that is it okay for Venus to meddle in the life of someone like Dido for the gain of her son, if you know what I mean? She's affecting the lives of a lot of people here, if you know what I mean? Not just Dido's. Is that morally reprehensible? Who knows? We'll find out, I suppose. Is it okay to... I guess what's quite nice is Aeneas always looking after his men. The first thing he does is checks for his men, and he supplies for them as well. And even at his own cost, he cares for them. Apart from that, not too much. I think there's seeds for a further morality, but maybe like a 5.
Yeah, I was going to go 5.
Yeah.
Pretty down the middle. Creativity. Pretty creative, Matt.
Yeah, well...
There are ships.
Yeah.
There are ships.
There are more ships.
There are people in ships. There are deer.
There's mountains.
Shipwrecks.
Carthage. Gods meddling.
Gods meddling. People stranded. People finding people that they thought were stranded. Invisibility. There's special powers.
Also, to talk about the narration as well. We also refer back to Virgil quite a lot.
Yeah, like narratives within narratives.
Yeah, in all fairness, Virgil's just telling the narrative, but Virgil kind of has a side to the audiences quite a lot, if you know what I mean. Which is, yeah, I think, and also the fact that, again, for the whole of this series, we're going to be alluding to Rome, current day Rome quite a lot, so that we'll always have a bit of creativity there, I think.
And the Julius Caesar and propaganda.
Yeah, absolutely. But we can see how there's quite a lot of it in this one. We also have Dido as well, her
backstory, yeah.
Cow's hide and all that. Yeah, I'm going to say 6.
I think 6.
Oh, it's a 7 because it's quite.
Actually, probably 7.
Seven,
There's a lot of 7. We'll change it to 7. WTF? Wouldn't say it's crazy.
God's meddling. Aeolus in the wind.
Aeolus in the wind.
Cupid enchanting Dido. I think that's a little bit
it's
creepy.
pretty messed up. Yeah.
Apart from that, not really anything. To be honest, it's the mist is a bit weird, but that's
not WTF, is it?
I'm gonna say
it's more
2.
backstory than it's low.
2.
It's more just like setting up the scene.
Yeah, there'll be weirder stuff as it comes. So we've got a 7, a 5, a 7, and a 2. So that is 21.
Let me do the maths.
Well, it's 7, 7, 7, isn't it?
It's 21.
Oh, you do that all the time, and it annoys the shit out of me every time you do it. Anyway, Dan, thank you so much for it. I hope you enjoy the Aeneid as much as I do, and I promise it won't drag as much as the Odyssey as well.
Okay, that was a lot of episodes.
Yeah, it will. Well, in all fairness, there'll be more content to it, if you know what I mean. There won't be anyone.
I'm interested to know where. There's already a bit of crossover. I'm interested to know where it's different.
There's a lot of homage there, isn't there?
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to doing more. Dan, where can people find us online?
Facebook and Twitter at Miss Podcast.
And if you want to follow me at the time, Matt House Comedy. And if you want to email us about your favourite thing in the Aeneid so far, or if you've got any recommendations for Norse mythology, yes, we're doing Norse after this. So any tales about Thor or Odin or anything like that, get in touch. Tell us your favourite. Or even if it's not Norse and you just want to tell us any myth from anything.
Maybe you just want some help with life problems. We're also agony aunts. We're more than happy to help.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know anyone's problems who are that bad they're willing to message to mediocre podcast hosts about it. But I mean, I won't seek professional help at this point. But we're happy to help.
Miffspodcast@gmail.com.
Yes,
is where you would go to do that.
And if you wanted to give us 5 stars on iTunes, because you love this podcast so goddamn much, you would go
on iTunes.
Yes, or your podcast provider. Sorry, I messed that up. It was more of a statement, really. Also, if you give us money for our Patreon or Ko-fi, and this would be the last week you can donate to my Indiegogo campaign. So if you're listening this week, help, donate, please. But I imagine you probably listened to it too late. So shame on you. Don't ever be a fan of mine again. But do see me live. See me at the Edinburgh Fringe. Yeah. I'm trying to go for a bit of like a manic kind of...
No, I like it, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
like reverse psychology.
They don't know where to stand with me, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but do see my Edinburgh Fringe show. It's going very well. Thank you for asking.
How's it going?
Really well.
Oh,
Thanks for
good.
asking. And honestly, I'm very happy with the show at the moment. I did a gig in Canterbury. I did a preview there, and I think it was honestly, I was like genuinely over the moon with it as well. Good gig. Then the next night I was in Derby, which was still a good gig, but harder work. I'm at the Edinburgh Fringe between the 1st of August to the 25th of August, apart from the 12th. Tickets are £5 for my show called Matt Hoss, Here Comes Your Man at 7:10. Please come and see it, because Dan, I've had big news here, but I've sold currently a gentleman's 5 tickets. Ooh,
nice.
Only 1,000 more to go.
Nice.
So if you've got 1,000 friends, bring them along, please. Apart from that, is there anything else to say, Dan?
Not really, actually. I think you covered it.
Should I do some lunges?
Do some lunges, go on.
Alright, you say something inspirational. I was like, how are my lunges looking, Dan?
Pretty good. I'm actually quite impressed your trousers are holding up.
Yeah.
Matt's trousers have not split.
Do the sergeants now. Should I do the splits?
For my sake, please don't.
Why not?
Well, you know how this gets on. He's fallen. He's fallen.
I think I've busted my nut.
Say bye, Matt. Bye. Busted your nut.
Myths, 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 myths.
Hello and welcome to episode 71 of Myths. And today we are going to have a 1 minute silence for our phone. Where am I going to go with this?
I was going to ask you where you're going with this. Are you taking the mickey out of people that do 1 minute silences?
Let's start again.